Sorry about that. Um, I wanted to, if you remember, I told you that tonight I would illustrate to you the things that I was talking about Tuesday night when I was talking about how, what can pictures do to help education and to help educators. And so I wanted to just kind of illustrate a couple things with you tonight. So I'm going to share my screen, okay? And as you can see, I have my account pulled up, and I made a board called Best Economic Lesson Plans. And of course, I chose that because that's what I taught, so that makes it easy for me. And a little bit of explanation here. First of all, I did some research. Saw most of the boards out there were economics lesson plans, and everybody likes to have the best, right? So that's why I could have put top economic lesson plans. So that's the kind of thing that you want to do. Now, you see here, and I kind of just did a rush job on this. You can see here I have tropical survival activity. Now, what I would need to do is to have a good description here of the activity and have a URL that would then take people to a place to where they would get the instructions. And I was going to bring this over here so I would have a website to where these instructions would be there, okay? And so you see here, again, I have materials needed, exactly everything to do, okay? And then the debriefing of it, and even on homework assignments for them. So you see, and then along with that, I also could post comments, suggested comments for each one of the slides. Also have the instructions on how to make each one of the items that is needed for the tropical survival activity. Now, also, one other thing is here I have questions to use. So this is showing how, with this activity, when you're doing the debriefing, what are some questions that would make it relevant to what you're teaching? And this activity, one of the main things is teaching the concept of scarcity with the students. Another thing that I wanted to pull up here is also included in this. I have the lesson objectives here. And you see here, scarcity, economic resources. So you see, I'm really giving them everything they need to do a good job. And I even somewhere have here a way of testing it and so forth. Now, a point that I want to make here is that in the activity, of course, when they're talking about things like scarcity and so forth, these are some of the examples that we're using. So on the test, I would want to relate those to the answers to help them to begin to make that connection. Like talking, say, something that scares us a house, I'm making this up as I go. And so outside it, I would put the HUD in the activity, you see. So that way it helps them to start to really synthesize this information and true learning take place. And it's not just some fun thing we did in the classroom. And you're thinking, okay, so now you're saying all that, but my question is, how is it going to help education? Well, you'll notice here on the board that I made real quick that I could, of course, put other pins, and I thought I already had. Maybe I need to refresh here. I may not have. Okay, I didn't. What I could do is I could add a pin. Here we go. Here, that is for a blog that I write about how these types, really enjoy doing these types of activities with my students, and true learning takes place, and talk about how this activity could it be improved so much for the students if I had these resources such as an LCD projector. I had more access to the supplies that are needed for the activity, and talk about some of those things, but talk about it in a positive way. And so you see, you're very, you're giving that suggestion there in a positive way. Now you'll notice here, see, I could put the link here for the website of where they could go and read my blog, and then here I would tell them what I'm talking about. And in the blog, I would want to make sure that I included a link for where I have the trouble survival activity and all the information for that. So you see here on Pinterest, you can start to do those positive kinds of things to try to start changing the wave and change it in a positive direction, and get some things taken and get some things out there, change for education, and perhaps get people to pay attention, particularly politicians, and have things really good in education. And you see here, I wanted to show you that there is a lot on there for economic education, just to show you I'm not just making this up. Okay. So I hope that gave you a good idea of how that could be utilized. And so until next week, next Tuesday, this is Pinterest Pro Anna signing off and traveling on down the Pinterest Superhighway.